Hello everyone. In today's video, I'll be covering the story of Ganesh. Ganesh is one of the most popular and revered deities in India, especially in the western parts of India. And people who are not familiar with Ganesh, the first thing they notice about him is why does he have an elephant head? And why is he always depicted having a big round pot belly? So I'll be covering some interesting stories, and also I'll be covering why Ganesh is depicted in the way he is and how did he come to get this kind of a form. So the from the birth of Ganesh. There are several stories related to the birth of Ganesh, but here I'll be starting with the story which is most widely accepted and shared across different parts of India. The story starts when Mata Parvati was going to take a bath and she noticed that Nandi the bull, who normally guards their house, was not around. So she decided to create a small boy made out of turmeric, and through her powers, she put life into it. So when that clay boy made of turmeric came to life, she instructed the boy to guard the house while she takes a bath, and during that period, he should not allow anyone to come inside the house. And so Ganesh obliged, and he assured Mata Parvati that he would guard the house and not let anyone inside while she's taking a bath. After a while, Lord Shiva, who was out meditating, came back to the house and he was surprised to see a boy on the gate whom he didn't recognize. So he asked the boy to let him in because it was his house. But as Ganesh had not seen Shiva before and he did not receive any information about Shiva from Ma Parvati, so he refused. He said that I have been instructed not to let anyone inside the house, so I cannot permit you. Shiva tried to convince Ganesha several times, and after a while, he started getting irritated. And when he realized that Ganesh would not let him inside, no matter how hard he tries to convince him, he got really angry after a point. And out of anger, he took his Trishul, the trident weapon that Shiva always carries, and he cut off Ganesh's head. And with commotion outside, she came out and she saw the body of Ganesh lying on the floor with his head cut off, and she went into a stage of grief. She became inconsolable, and soon this grief started turning into anger, and she took on the her violent Rudrakali form, and she decided to destroy the whole world. Now at this stage, all the gods got worried that if nobody is able to control this anger of Parvati, she might destroy the entire world. So they approached Brahma and asked him that, how we can calm down Parvati and avoid this complete destruction of the world. Then Brahma came and he consoled Parvati and he said that don't worry, I'll bring Ganesh back to life, and but you calm yourself down. And he instructed Shiva to go towards the north direction and get the head of the first animal he encounters on the way. Started moving towards north of Mount Kailash, he encountered a white elephant, and he took the head of this elephant and he came back and he placed it on Ganesh, and Brahma gave life again to Ganesh, and that is why form where how he's put in all the temples and different places of worship across India. You will see him always depicted with a head of the elephant. And once he came back to life, Brahma also gave him an additional boon that he would always be worshipped before any other god whenever there is a ritual or puja happening in any house. And also in India, people take Ganesh's name before starting anything auspicious or starting a journey or starting anything new or new venture or any new work. Now, the next story, which is linked to why Ganesh is always depicted with a big round belly and why he's so known for his voracious appetite that he can eat a lot. He's always depicted in the his pictures or statues with a big plate of laddus around him. And this story linked to when the god of wealth, Kuber, invites Shiva to a big feast he's organizing in his palace. And Shiva can immediately sense that, a sense of arrogance has come into Kuber because of the immense wealth he possesses. And he is basically holding this feast to show off his wealth to all the gods, that how much wealth he is, how prosperous he is. So he tells Kuber that he cannot come to the feast, but he will send his son Ganesh on his behalf. And he asks Kuber that he should make sure that Ganesh eats well and he's fully satisfied and he should not come back hungry. Then Kuber looks at the little boy Ganesh and he said that, why is Shiva requesting such a thing? He knows how much wealth I have, how much food I'll prepare for this feast. Why is he worried about, me providing sufficient food to a little boy? He says, Shiva, don't worry. I'll ensure that, your boy eats properly and is full during the feast in my palace. And next day, to the feast at Kuber's house, he starts eating and he starts with the laddu because that's his favorite. Then he proceeds to do other food. And before the people who are serving the food at Kuber's palace get to the other guest, Ganesh has finished all the food and he's still hungry. He says to Kuber that, I'm still hungry. And if you don't give me more food quickly, I'm going to eat everything. He starts eating the plates, the table, the chair, and he says, I'm going to eat up your entire palace if you don't get more food for me immediately. Now Kuber gets really worried. He starts to panic and he runs to Shiva and he said that this is what's happening at my palace now. Ganesh has eaten everything. He's still hungry. Please help me how to fix the situation. Then Shiva says that Ganesh appetite can never be fixed by show of wealth. You have to take a small lump of rice and he hands him a small handful of rice and he tells him that if you offer this to him with humbleness and with devotion in your heart, then he would be completely satisfied. Then Kuber realizes his mistake, that this was a lesson that Shiva was teaching him about humility and how not to be get arrogant about your powers or your wealth. And he goes to Ganesh and offers the rice as instructed by Shiva. And the moment Ganesh eats that handful amount of rice, he gets completely satisfied and he says that now I'm full. Thank you for the feast and I'll go back home. So this shows that how the appetite of Ganesh was used to teach a lesson through Shiva to the Lord of Wealth Ganesh Kuber. Which I would like to mention is that another thing you would have noticed in all the paintings and statues of Ganesh is that he's always depicted with one broken tusk. Here again, there are several stories linked to this, and I'll be covering the one which is most popular. It is said that when Maharishi Vyas was about to write Mahabharata, he was looking for a candidate who is very intelligent, that he'll be able to understand all the shloks that he'll be narrating and he'll be able to quickly grasp, understand them and write them continuously. Because as you know, Mahabharata is one of the biggest epics in Hinduism. So this would be need a lot of effort. This person should have the mental capacity and the stamina. He should be able to sit at one go and should be able to understand and write it down quickly. And he was advised to go to Ganesh because they said that he's the person who has that level of wisdom and he'll be able to do the job. And when Ganesh was starting, then he realized that there is no pen which can write the entire Mahabharata without any break. So that's when he decided to break off one of his tusks and start writing with his tusk so he'll not have to stop. And that's how Maharishi Vyas started narrating the entire Mahabharata, and Ganesh wrote it down in one single sitting together with the Rishi. And this is also an instance where it is shown that Ganesh is something who is always worshipped as Vignaharta, was that whenever you encounter any problems or blockages in your life, that's when you worship Ganesh to give you a way, because he's known for his quick thinking. He's able to find out solutions and ways to overcome the problem and challenges you're facing. And this is also an instance where Ganesh analyzed the situation and he was quickly able to identify how best to fix it. I hope you like the stories which I shared today, and do let me know in the comments if there's anything specific that you would like me to cover in the next video. Thank you.